We have run into quality issues with our supplier, and many units from our order are not sellable. How do we manage this relationship with our supplier in the short or long term to resolve this? This is also another excellent question. So let's say, as an example, you've been selling for a year. Let's say you've been selling for a year. So you've made multiple orders. Maybe you've made 4 or 5 orders over the past 12 months. And for the most part, they've come in pretty good. But let's say you had a lapse. Let's say that your most recent order, or like your third order, came in and you got a bunch of crappy product. It's a different quality material. They switched it on you and didn't tell you. The stitching is jacked up on this order. Something's off and you can't sell this stuff. The first thing that you want to do, obviously, especially if you've been selling for any amount of time, is try to remedy the situation with your supplier. Like, just be honest and open with them and talk to them and say, what happened? Like, what did you change? Did you change the quality of the material? Did you change your team? What happened? Did you rush this? Like, maybe you rushed it last minute because you were trying to hit your deadline and you didn't have the workers to do it properly and with the quality that you needed to. Like, just be honest with us. And if they will be honest and open with you, then you can work through that. If they're going to lie to you or make excuses and hide stuff from you, that's the biggest red flag for me. Like, if they're not being open and honest with you about it, the same way that you're going to be open and honest with them when stuff is not the way that you expect it and being reasonable with them, then that's a sign that, like, hey, it might be a really smart option to start looking elsewhere. But if they tell you, this has happened before with us, with our supplier, which is why I think we have such a great relationship, is when crap happens and things go wrong, they tell us. They say, like, hey, we are short staffed for the next 2 weeks because the Chinese government shut down our factory for the energy policy. Or, hey, we don't have this right material that we have been using. We have to switch to this one. Are you okay with that? And we'll say, no, go ahead and wait for a month, like, till you can get the material that we like. Like, just have an open communication. And so they're not like just making changes on you without telling you first, but you're talking about it beforehand. And so however many chances you give them, that's kind of up to you. Like, if you want to give them a second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance, that's really up to you. But for me, it really comes down to the communication and honesty. If there's no communication and there's no honesty, that's a big red flag. But if there's communication and honesty, and there's issues that arise, but they're willing to, work through them and make changes and try to improve, then yeah, like, maybe they screwed the pooch on this order and they got to fix it. I would hope another good sign of a good relationship is they screw it up. I would reach out to them first and say, look, this is not what we agreed upon. This is not the quality that we agreed upon. You know that. Like, you, meaning you're talking to the supplier, and you tell the supplier, you guys know that. Like, you know what the quality we established, and this is not it. And it's not the right quality. I mean, they're not dumb, let's be honest. So tell them that you expect them to fix it. And I would try to be, like, firm but kind. Like, firmness is important when talking to these people. Like, you want to tell them, like, this is unacceptable, but, like, don't be a jerk about it, essentially. So yeah, tell them it's unacceptable, and, like, you expect them to replace it. Like, you're not going to pay for a replacement because they didn't deliver the product that you paid for. And if they come back at you and say, no, you have to pay for another order, again, that's probably a big red flag that, like, they're not on the same page with you as far as developing a long-term relationship. They just want their money and to be on their way. They're not trying to grow with you. So for me, that's a sign of, I'm going to maybe start looking elsewhere. For us, it's been nice where if we've had issues, we tell them and they fix it. And they say, yeah, we'll fix it. That's our bad. And we don't pay for it. Now, if you are ready to jump ship and you need to cut the cord and you want to find someone else, you need to get your money back, then going through, like, Alibaba Trade Assurance is probably the best way to get your money back. I would first try to remedy with the supplier themselves to see if they'll send you a new order, send you your money back. Probably won't send you your money back, but what they would do is try to redo the order. But if you're like, absolutely not, this is a terrible relationship, we need to get out now before it gets worse, then you're probably going to have to go through Alibaba Trade Assurance and you're going to have to file a complaint with them to get your money back. And again, I've said this before, but I'm going to restate it again. The best chance for you to get your money back with Alibaba Trade Assurance is to have clear, proper documentation from the get-go of what is expected and documentation that it's not as expected. Again, like, when you're making your first order, when you're doing your samples, document everything with photos, with invoices, with contracts, whatever you got to do, so that it's very, very clear what it is you're ordering and what's expected from the quality, so that if there is an issue, you have an invoice, you have a signed contract from the supplier saying, we will make your product according to these specifications with this quality material. So when you get it and it's not that, you can take a photo, you can take a video, and you can send that to the dispute team at Alibaba and prove to them that you got what you did not get what you were expecting. So again, be very, very clear and thorough with your documentation of things and with your communication with your supplier, and that's going to help you get your money back with a dispute. I've had multiple people, multiple friends, multiple students of mine have issues like this in the past and get their money back through Alibaba. So just make sure you're doing your due diligence up front.